All right, welcome back, everybody. Youngzers, episode 35. Got a decent slate for you today. We'll kind of keep it short and sweet, going for an hour. Yeah, get ready to lock right in. We got some Steelers talk as usual. Free agency. Last week we were kind of quiet, but Omar Khan, I think he tried to make a little bit of a splash. Maybe not some sexy picks, but definitely the gritty ones. And then I'm sure we'll talk about March Madness. We got the round of 64 and maybe three-fourths of the round of 32. I think a couple games are wrapping up, and then the West Coast games haven't started yet. So, yeah, got a big slate coming. What's up, guys? Andrew and Dan here.
Much like Kevin Ware's leg a few years ago, my bracket's busted. So, what, Dan? What?
I didn't
Don't act
expect
like
that.
you didn't zoom
I
in.
love it though. I loved it. That was good. That was good. I was not expecting you to come in that hot already. So
Yeah, I threw the upper double upper depth, double. Oh, I'm tongue tied. Double upper lip, in last year I was, we did a bunch of chase to 15 bets, which were absolutely electric right off. Princeton hosed me. I thought Missouri would, just wear them down. They got half the biology classes and finance majors out there just drilling threes. Um, Princeton's looking good. I'll say it. They're a tough team, but if you want to get the juices flowing, March Madness. I know Ryan's a big hammer the under guy, and they've been hitting. So the race to 15, 5, whatever. It starts the game off. You're on the edge of your seat right off the bat. It's electric stuff.
So you could start the game with an electric bet like that, get your nerves going, and then at the end of the game too, if it's tight and you got the dog or something and they're close on the money line, even because I don't like to take points, I'll take somebody straight up on the money line. I think it's a better bet. So then you're antsy at the end too. I didn't even think about doing like the first to 15. That's pretty smart.
It goes from first to 5, 10, 15. You can go the whole way, like during the game, you can do the races as the game is going.
So like a live bet then.
Like first
that's
to 50.
cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
nice.
That's cool. But no, real quick, just I'm on another high right now. Just real quick, I'll touch on it as a Pitt fan. I'm not trying to get right into it, but I'm gonna get into it. Great season. You can't ask for more than they won. What, 2 games they had to have that play-in game. I think it was a great season, so I'm feeling pretty good this weekend. Weekend's been pretty good, kind of short. Wish it was longer, but on to you.
Yeah, Pitt and Penn State, great seasons. Both made it to the round of 32. West Virginia did not, so take that L, West Virginia. North Carolina declined their NIT bid. The news from last week. Absolute coward move. I'll say that. Absolute coward move. Dan, I know you've been priming to take a shot at that. Just ridiculous. We're focused on next year. If you're not good enough to make the NCAA tournament, get in the CBI, get in the NIT, play those games, because there's some kids that want to play, and that's just the coward's way out. Not a blue blood program.
No,
I'm
I'm going to take the floor here real quick on that. I'm going to piggyback off that. I think it's chicken shit because you have kids there that they want to play ball, and that's what they're there for, but your program thinks that's beneath them, and if they're not in the NCAA tournament, then it doesn't matter. Well, it does, because Pitt didn't make the NCAA tournament for quite a few years, but they ended up being a 1 seed in the NIT and went pretty far. I don't think they might have won it all, actually. I'm not sure off the top of my head. It was more recent. I think it was right after Jamie Dixon left. So it just shows that you can still have high competition even in a lesser tournament because your team is lesser. Your team, if it doesn't make the tournament, it's a lesser team. So go play that lesser tournament, get the experience for those kids because it might pay dividends down the line, but it just shows how chicken shit and how stuck up their nose must be that they think that they're that high and mighty that a national invitational tournament is beneath them. And that used to be the big tournament back in the day before there was, was anything like we have today. So that just made me, that really pissed me off.
And I'll add to that a little bit. I'm sure the NIT doesn't pull in as much money for your school as the main tournament, but that's kind of a spit in the face of the other programs in the school because that money gets spread around. And UNC, they probably would have went decently far in the tournament. Rutgers is a 1 seed. I'm sure they're maybe a tad better than Rutgers. I don't know. But say you make a couple rounds. If I'm the North Carolina swim team or something like that, I'm looking at you a little different. No respect. You don't respect the people around you. You don't respect your own school. So, okay.
That's just like it comes back to football is the main program at every school. Even your North Carolinas, even your Dukes, their football teams bring in more money, more revenue than all the other sports combined. So what if UNC's football team was invited to let's say like the Orange Bowl, and they were always going to the Orange Bowl, but no, this year they had an off year. They're not going to get invited to that. They're going to go to a lesser bowl, but they decline it. That would piss off the whole school, every athletic department. So it's okay for the basketball team to do that just because they don't bring in as much revenue as the football team, and the football team has to carry that school, every school that is. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but I rest my case.
And also, this is just another voice memo for anyone that complains about playing games. Pitt, you should kind of be grateful for it. I was skeptical first as well. Like teams shouldn't get a playing game. But I saw an interesting video online. Every game that you get through the tournament, it's basically $300,000 towards your school for the next 6 years. So even if you don't make the tournament, Pitt's going to get that money till 2029. So they've played 3 games. So they're getting basically $1 million a year spread out for the next 6-7 years.
So
guaranteed.
the playoff playing game counts.
The playing game. That's why they give it to smaller schools, because
okay.
that's guaranteed money. So one of those teams will get it, and then the team that wins will get that extra bump from the round of 64. So okay. I just think I was against it at first, but that little tidbit, it's like not bad. So an extra 8 teams maybe get like a little get more money. Get basically say $300,000 for 8 years. That's program changing money for a lot of those schools. So good for them, good for the tournament. So I'm playing game positive now. So, but yeah, we don't get right into it.
Yeah, let's get into how big of frauds Purdue is. Number one, they lost to the worst team to ever make the NCAA tournament. I don't know if you saw this, Dan. We were talking about this earlier. Fairleigh Dickinson didn't even win their conference. Merrimack won, ineligible because they just moved up.
Yeah.
Zach Edey, I talked about it last week. He's mechanical. He's robotic in the post. The only reason he's any good is because of how big he is, which, like you said, the physical aspect is part of the game. Credit where credit's due. But he wasn't the problem. The coaching, number one, how you don't have your best player on the floor taking a shot in the last 8 minutes when no one could guard him in the post. And I said it, the guard play was mediocre for Purdue. I had them in early exit. I didn't have
mediocre. It was horrid. Those boys can't shoot at all.
What was his last name? Lloyd or something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
He got real cold in the Big Ten tournament and could not get off, couldn't shake it. And they really needed him to bury some threes. He hit that one early, and I thought maybe, but he was just 2 for 8 or something like that, 2 for 10.
As a team, they're like 6 for 30, I think, and that's bad.
And you're just chalking it up, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
I'd say those are the kind of like red lights that you look for in those conference tournaments whenever your guards aren't hitting. Like if you're a shooter, you shoot in streaks. So if you're feeling it, you're going to be hitting that next game you come out. But if you play horrible and you got that slump going, that next game, you better watch out. And who was it? Fairleigh Dickinson got the better of them. And Purdue, not good. I think that's a worse loss than Virginia to UMBC because that's a play-in game 16 seed.
Yeah.
And I honestly love the picture online that people tweet out after a game like that where they show like Dickinson's gym compared to Purdue's gym.
Yeah.
Love that. Like a barn compared to like $1 million probably plus dollar facility.
And Fairleigh Dickinson's coach, that was probably the second best performance he's ever had, on a big stage. I did love him in the 80s movie, The Goonies, when he was yelling, "Hey, you guys!" Exactly who he reminded me of. So, credit's due. A nice comeback for him. But the biggest, Purdue obviously losing was huge. Arizona got.
I want to ask you something about the Purdue game. Since I didn't play basketball, but you guys coach it, you guys played it. As a shooter, do you try to shoot out of that snide if you're Lloyd and you keep just chucking it up till they start going in for you? But
you got to read the room. Like in a pickup game, like I'm gunning until.
Okay. So
In a real game like that, you got to find a way or find someone on the bench or say, I got to do something else. Like, I got to distribute the ball. I got to move a little more on offense, you know?
and I
Like, if you're
know.
missing,
Go ahead.
if you're missing like 3 or 4 and you know you're in a slump as your guard, there's 2 things you can do. And it doesn't matter what position. If you're in a slump regardless shooting, you make it up on defense, you get some steals, you create easy buckets for yourself, or you just stop shooting and I don't know, feed it inside to the 7-4 guy that no one can guard. That was the more like mind-boggling aspect of that game for me. They kept shooting it.
There
Yeah,
were times it was
that's what
working out, though.
that's exactly
their
what I was
best-
going to ask. If you're on a schneid and you can't hit nothing, would you rather have an empty possession or you keep feeding your horse down there that they can't? They were triple teaming him. They were bringing the house down. And I know
Yeah.
you're wide open on the arc, but you can't make anything. So is that a coaching decision then that if, hey, just keep chucking it up, or, hey, we need to feed him? Is that or is that just a feel of the game and the flow of the game?
How I saw it, honestly, I think the coach was telling him to keep shooting because that was their best offense. Was Edey wasn't getting triple teamed while they were shooting. These guys were boxing out the other players, and he would get the board and put it right back up. That's how badly they were missing. There was times they weren't even hitting the rim, and he'd just grab the ball and go right back up. So I think they're just saying, hey, you just keep shooting until you get out of this slump. Maybe some will go in, maybe some will fall, but we have a 7-footer down there that's going to grab the rebound for you. So just keep chucking them up. That's what I saw. I don't know.
And that's the definition. That's what not the definition. That's what defines like great guard play from mediocre guard play. Because the most effective shooters at any level, if they're not hitting, they can get shots working off ball, cutting to the hoop, moving to get the shot. Their guards didn't do that. Edey's getting double and triple teamed. Somebody has to be open every time. Cut to the hoop. Like I play in the post a lot when we play pickup, and obviously it's frickin' pickup. But the same thing. You see a double team coming, someone's going to be open, and if they have the IQ to cut to that open spot, it's going to be a layup because A, you're wide open, you're going to make the majority of those, and B, if they start, getting back into help side, Edey is the one-on-one for the rebound, which he's going to win every time. So I thought that was a bad coaching job. The part that was crazy to me is they were down 5 and Matt Painter's drawing up plays. Like there is no 5-point play that you can run.
Yeah.
I don't know like what the hell he was,
Probably
concocting.
go for a quick 2, get a steal, and I don't know, foul.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you going to do?
But
By the way,
one of the biggest things they always talk about Zach Edey is his ability to pass out of double teams. So it wasn't a secret. He's been getting double teamed all year. He's probably gotten triple teamed, a couple times here and there. But he has an elite passing ability, and I just didn't see those cuts off ball. I didn't see that movement. But even if you're getting triple teamed, you can come out of the post a little bit. And if you're a Division I program, you should have a guy that can go one-on-one, like ISO ball against a guy from a low Division I school. But, I don't know.
Because that's what I
Just
saw.
a good win for that
It would get
program.
down to the post to him, and you had the guard up at the top, and then 2 in the corners, and they weren't moving. And it kind of reminded me of the Pitt game on their playing game against Mississippi State to try to give it away, because their last 2 possessions, they went down and yucked up threes because they got it down in the post, and then he kicked it out. And they missed bad. And then next thing you know, Mississippi State's within a point. So it was like they were trying to give that away, and I don't know, do you go down for an empty possession, or you try to feed it down there and get a foul and get 2 free throws? So does that ultimately come with coaching, or it's just the flow of the game and the IQ of the young kids you have out there?
I mean, it's definitely IQ, like the IQ plays a huge role in it. Obviously, situational awareness is at any level, that's what winning teams, everybody out there has great situational awareness. But at the same time, if you have a guard that's on the schneid, like you said, you get him out of the game. If he's not passing it, if he's not playing good defense, if he's not kicking it inside and he's just shooting threes and whiffing on them, what's his role out there then? Are you that weak with your depth where no matter who you put in, it's going to be worse? Because I think that says more about the job you've done recruiting or developing at that level, that they kept running out, and the crazy thing is Ethan Morton, he's from Butler. He started the majority of games this year, but they had him coming off the bench because this other guard provided more offense. So what's that tell you?
Mhm.
It was just, I saw that mediocre guard play all year. And when you're in the tournament, even smaller teams like this, they were bracketing Edey in the post and they couldn't do anything about it. So
That's just crazy. So you have two players that are essentially unguarded at the time. Like if you're a guard that wide open, at least drive to the hoop. You're going to get one of those defenders off them. At least maybe get a chance at dumping it off and getting a layup or getting a foul, like Dan said. But I don't know. I had them winning one game, I think, in most of my brackets. So I didn't trust Purdue at all. I thought they were weak starting with the guards. And there's a couple years ago, Iowa had Luka Garza, and he was kind of the same player as Zach Edey, a little shorter, like granted, but same kind of thing. Iowa really didn't have a good year. I think they're also maybe a 1 or 2 seed, so they're pretty high up there. But I don't know. It's just one of the weaknesses of having a 7-foot guy that can't shoot. You're not going to be able to spread that floor out. Like I think that's basketball. You're going to have players that can shoot up and down now. You see it in the NBA. You have these 7-footers like Joel Embiid. He's starting to shoot threes now. He never shot a basketball until like 8th grade, but at the NBA level, he's starting to shoot now. So you need those big guys that can knock him down.
And that's why you see these college guys, like Ryan said, Luka Garza, Zach Edey. Zach Edey. Yeah, that's why Edey may be able to get away with it in the NBA just because of his size and his physicality. But like Luka Garza, you can dominate college, but you look at how slow they are, robotic, mechanical in their movements. They can't spread the floor. If this was like 80s, 90s basketball with the traditional big man or old school Big East basketball, they'd be thriving. That's not the way the game's being played now. You go to the NBA, they're going to pull out a 6'7", 6'8" guy that can run the floor and stretch the floor, and then he's a liability on defense if you're not running a zone. You pull him out of the perimeter, blown by. I mean,
they're going to put a big man in the corner that's be able to knock down those threes, and Edey won't be able to help down on defense, and they'll be caught, no man's land.
They get exposed very quickly in the NBA, those kind of players.
Yep. You got to be like a quick, physical, like if you're not offensively, I guess, concentrated, you're going to be rebounder, big defense guy, rim protector, rebounder. That's all you can do.
And that's like the difference. I don't know if you watched any of the Kentucky games in the tournament, Dan, with Oscar Tshiebwe.
No, I haven't. No.
25 rebounds in the first game. He had, I think, over 15 today. And that's kind of the comparison I look at where Tshiebwe, I think, will carve out an NBA career just because he's great on the defensive end. And shit, it don't matter who you are. You're getting 25 boards and clean off the glass. There's going to be a role for you in the NBA. Even if you can't really go outside the foul line and shoot, you're still bringing that energy. That's a team that wants a great energy bench guy to give you minutes and just lock down defense. That's going to be the difference between like him and Zach Edey, I think, in the NBA. So that's just something, that's my personal opinion. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not an NBA scout, but just from, what I look at and watch, on a day-to-day basis, I just think those are the kind of energy guys that, they'll succeed more in the NBA.
Yeah. Do we just want to go down through and pick a few games out here and there that jump out at us?
Well, Arizona, they always jump the wrong way.
I haven't trusted them in years. DeAndre Ayton screwed that up for me. I remember I had them going far, like I think it was 19, maybe 18 or 19. There's just a couple programs here and there I don't trust. Providence let me down. They were kind of there the whole game, but that was my big pick that I always take. They let me down. They kept it closer than I thought, but that was my swing and a miss. Virginia Furman. I'm officially out of our Youngzers challenge. Virginia let me down pretty badly. I didn't think they'd go that far. I thought they'd at least win the first game. Ben Vanderplas, the dude with a mustache, shooter, defensive guy, grad transfer from the University of Ohio. Hurt his hand in practice, so that was cool. But what are we doing? You're up and you just chuck the ball in the air. I get you're trying to waste time, but at least try to draw the foul if you're going to turn it over. Just don't chuck it up into no man's land. But, they're kids.
That's JV
high
shit.
Stress, but you think someone would come down with it. I don't know. But good for Furman. I'm officially bowing out as a Virginia fan because – yeah, so I'm taking applications for a new fan base.
So since you touched on your team, I had Iowa State, and it was bittersweet because I wanted to see Pitt win. It sucks that they were up against the team that I was wheel spun for. They blowed them out. They come out 22-2. Iowa State couldn't hit nothing. They just ran them out the door right from the tip. It was good to see. I think I'm going to say it. I don't know if I should, but I want to. I think Pitt basketball is back. I really do. I think this helps Jeff. I think this helps Jeff Capel bring basketball back to Pittsburgh and it be competitive. they were there for the ACC regular season title the whole year. I just think this helps. I think he starts recruiting out of New York well, like Jamie Dixon did, because Jamie Dixon just had that pipeline from Upper New York and Jersey as well. So I think that really helps this program. It was just nice to see H2P.
Without your 5-star recruit, I'll give him some flowers for that,
And Federico didn't play, so we had that true freshman, one of the twins in there, and you could see that he was kind of nervous in that playing game, but in that Iowa State game, he was just, ice in the veins. He showed that he deserves to be here. He just needs to put on some weight. You could tell that those centers from Mississippi State were a little thicker. I think he was giving up 60 pounds to that kid, and he was bullying him. But I mean, he had the height on him. He just didn't have the size. So I think if he could put on 20, 30 pounds, he's going to be a force. Him and his brother. So and
you can see that
he could shoot the 3 as well. So he's not afraid to.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can see in that game today, the struggles aren't on offense; it's defense. Like, granted, it was kind of a track meet. Both teams, there was really a lack of defense today, Xavier and Pitt. But if I'm Jeff Capel, I'm thinking, like, let's get these guys buffed up. Let's focus on defense. Scoring's going to come. Scoring comes from experience. You got to learn defense. So I'd really hammer the defense. I think, Pitt's on the upswing. They're back. They're pretty young too, right? Or no.
That whole team was not the whole team, but the majority of that team was grad transfers.
Yeah,
but
I
think
thinking.
You got Federico coming back. Hopefully Hughley could come back if he's mentally okay.
He's transferring.
Oh, I didn't hear
He
that.
entered the portal before the game on.
Didn't even hear that. Well, good for him. I mean, but I think if you bring in a decent freshman class here, and then you gave the one twin, I can't pronounce their names. I'm not even going to try.
And I think
give him enough experience. I think they'll be okay.
Pitt's the kind of school that they'll get good grad transfers to.
Yeah.
That want a second chance. So
if you're Jeff Capel, though, you're getting an NIL deal with the Purgatory, and you're getting the twins down there every day.
Yeah.
Getting steak and burger diet.
Extra mayo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extra mayo.
Load those two up.
Yeah.
Jeff, send them over to my place. You need to. I'll get them beefed up.
Strictly pasta.
Yeah,
for sure.
How would they not? If you're in a city with pierogies, Turner's Tea, and Permani sandwiches, there ain't no way you're going to be that skinny.
I'm glad you said that, because I know we're still talking basketball, but the Pitt wrestler just won the national title for what is it? Was it singles for himself? Won the national championship in his weight class. Did you see what he said when he was recruited to Pitt?
No.
He's like, how can I love being here? I can go down and double leg somebody, walk right down the street and get a Permani sandwich. So, he's just Pittsburgh. So, hats off to that guy too. That kid. I can't remember his name. So
good for him. I'm not a wrestler. I don't know much about wrestling or anything like that, but good for him. All right, what other games we have? That's all the surprises from
Marquette
the first round.
Marquette just got upset by Michigan State. So Michigan State, Kansas State,
wow.
Sweet 16. That hurts.
We had Michigan State out early. Tom Izzo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're frauds, just like Purdue. Everybody in the Big Ten's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tom Izzo got up the front door and punched me in the mouth.
I said Kansas State, Kentucky today. I was looking and I'm thinking I'm going to put a future on Kansas State. They look pretty good.
No, you know who the most impressive team, I think?
Your Indiana Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers, my Hoosiers are in it.
Yeah.
Trace Jackson Davis. I hyped up Kent State. They didn't deliver.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that. Tennessee Volunteers. Yeah. Beat the shit out of Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Filipowski.
Yeah. I have Tennessee Houston in the championship in my one bracket. I get a nice payday if that happens, I think.
Yeah. No, but Tennessee, the way their physicality, that's what I wasn't expecting that from Tennessee. Their point guard blows his knee out, best defender. I'm like, all right, that's tough for a team, come tourney time to overcome, but man, did they do it. I was impressed by Tennessee.
How about this? The SEC, known as a football school, has got 3 teams left, I think, right? Tennessee, Arkansas, Bama.
Yeah.
Auburn lost, but so they got
Kansas and Arkansas kind of knocked each other out there, right?
Kansas in the Big 12.
Yeah, Big 12, sorry. Yeah,
so you got 3 representatives still from your conference. It's known as a football conference. making it to the Sweet 16. That's impressive. That just shows you, I think, that anybody can win any given game in the basketball game. And that's why this tournament's so exciting. And I don't think you would get this kind of excitement, even though I've asked for it to expand the college football playoffs. I don't think you're going to get those, FDU's upsetting a number 1 seed, beating on Alabama, so to say, in the football. But it just shows that basketball, you get a hot team, somebody can stroke it from deep and maybe get some rebounds, get some steals and stuff. You could beat anybody. So
yeah, I think that's what's the beauty of March Madness. I said this last week. By far, it's the best sports weekend of the year. For me, the Masters, a second. It's a good
right
second.
here.
Yeah, it's right up there. And then, unpopular opinion, NFL Draft third. I love NFL Draft weekend.
When's that coming up? What day is that actually?
I do the mock drafts. I follow that stuff closely, so I'm saying that's why it's an unpopular opinion. Like, I enjoy it, but
I like the first 2 days, or the first 2 rounds. After that, I'm kind of checked out.
Yeah, and there's nothing it's exciting to see a pick, but you're like,
it's all waiting.
Yeah,
too much waiting.
Yeah,
it's nice if it's background noise, if you're with your buddies watching, but I just can't sit there and just divide all my attention to it. It's the same thing every time. They pick a guy, compare him to someone that's unrealistic. It's NBA so much worse. NBA draft is the worst.
I don't know. MLB's really bad because it's 30 rounds.
Of the ones I watch.
Okay.
The ones I watch. Just how they overhype the players. Every year there's a new Magic Johnson or someone else, but when even is the draft for the NFL? It's got to be coming up in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
No, I think it's late April.
Really? I always thought it was April 7th.
Draft 2023.
I say late April.
Thursday, April 27th.
Okay, that's way farther away than I thought. We're gonna be in the doldrums for a month there. We're gonna be just baseball until the draft.
Ooh,
the only thing the most redeeming quality about the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament of a distraction from the Penguins.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about that
right now from last year. Not doing it. I'm shutting that shit down. No more.
I'm back on the we're done. 2 weeks ago, I was like, we're back. And we're done.
You know why I'm done? I'm just going to touch on this real quick since you brought it up. That Mike Sullivan is asked flat out about Jeff Carter and Brian Dumoulin, and he looks at reporters and says, and I understand he's got an obligation to some of these guys, but says, we don't see it the same way as you guys. How don't you? So that's all I'm going to say.
2 of those goals are on them.
Whatever. Don't care.
Jeff Carter was a -3 the other night. The first game against the Rangers was a Thursday. So I'm not talking about it. That's it. Nope. That's the end of the pen stock. That's it.
That's how you know it's done.
That's it.
Cup contender just blows you out of the water. Whatever. Done. I'm sticking a fork in them for the year. I ain't coming back anymore and saying we're back. I ain't coming back anymore. Yeah. So do we want to? Are we done with the NCAA tournament? We're gonna go into the next.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. Steelers free agency.
Yeah.
A little bit of big news. RIP to Cam Sutton.
A lot of big news. There's
a
little.
Steelers Nation mourned the loss of Cam Sutton for about 2 hours.
Yeah, until Squared.
Until Patrick Peterson comes into town and tries to take number 7.
I think he should be able to. The number's not retired. I don't give a damn. It's just a number. It's until it's retired. There's none of this unwritten rule shit, and I'm tired of hearing about it. It's not retired. It should be able to be worn. Rest my case. Now, if they say
12 in New England,
is it retired? Until it's retired. Now, if they say, hey, we're going to retire his number this year, then okay. But if they don't retire it this year, by all means.
See, I'm on the fence about that. I don't think 7. I don't think a rookie comes in. I'm not giving him 7, but Patrick Peterson, who's a future Hall of Famer, he wants 7. It's not retired. Who gives a shit about Big Ben's blessing? No. I could care less.
Did he wear it his whole career?
Who? Patrick Peterson?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. They weren't able to there for the first. They were
28.
He was just able to change to it a few years ago. You know why you wear 7? I guess it's some big story. I didn't read into it. My buddy Joe was telling me at work. it has some deep meaning to it.
I believe it.
But yeah, so Peterson, good signing. Cornerback one kind of reminds me of the Hayden signing. A few years
A
ago.
couple years left in the tank, give you some solid play.
Man, did they overhaul the offensive line and inside linebackers or what?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Before we get too far in, I gotta go turn off my taters. Here's the couch potatoes break.
Okay, so Dan is going to flip potatoes, and I have a fun fact, and he's got to guess what I said when I come back. So wombats, their poop is actually the shape of a cube due to however their intestine produces it, and they stack it up to mark their territory. So yeah, a little factoid for while Dan's away, but it's a fun fact. If you're ever in a sticky situation, you need to know which mammals poop is cubed, I guess. Then look up the wombat. They stack it up.
If a mugger ever has a knife to my neck and asks me that question,
All right, we have to have Dan guess. All right, Dan.
Yes.
What was my factoid? You have to guess. That's the Dan. What was it?
You can play this game, Dan.
Oh boy. Your factoid is it something Pokemon related?
No.
No, I have no idea.
Wombat's poop is actually cube shaped, and they stack it up to mark their territory.
I did know that. Okay, I would never guess, but I did know that.
Okay. All right. So that was the couch potato break.
Yes.
So we gonna roll right back into free agency talk.
Right back in.
Well, yeah, Dan was flipping the potatoes. The Steelers were signing the meat and potatoes kind of guys. It was a seamless transition once again. But nasty Nate Herbig looks like he's going to be the top backup at all three positions. The guy's a mauler. I love that, and he was probably going to be a starter over Kevin Dotson until they signed Isaac Sumalo last night. I don't know if I'm butchering the name. I usually do, but he's going to be, I think, really good on that line. You can tell they're definitely investing in keeping Kenny Pickett upright. So if you're Dan Moore right now, you're not sleeping too soundly at night. One of those first two picks is going to be a tackle, and you're about to, you're the next Kendrick Green. You're going to be riding the pine. Granted, you'll get the helmet. Kendrick Green, listen, spoiler alert, he didn't get the helmet last year. He ain't getting a jersey this year. That guy is gone like a freight train, gone like that.
Are they even going to let him in the facility? I hope not.
I wouldn't even let him in the facility.
Turnstile. He'll be the turnstile for him.
He'll be the meme of the guy like patting people down. Right?
So, they beefed up the line there, and then Devin Bush signs a 1-year deal with the Seahawks. Bobby Spillane
to the Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Bull Cut Mark Davis is throwing money out the wazoo out there in Vegas.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for
Spillane. Take a step back. Good for him. Undrafted guy, signed, practice squad, worked his way up. Gave a lot to the Steelers last year. He played well. So good for him. He deserves it. He deserves the money.
I think he made a mark for himself whenever he went in the hole and met Derrick Henry and just stonewalled him. I mean, I watched it not too long ago. It was a couple days ago. It popped up on my Twitter. It might have been right when he signed that deal, just like, oh, thank you, and I'll remember you for this. And you listened to the announcer, and the announcer was blown away that Bobby Spillane just went in there and just stonewalled him. So he just shows that he puts the hard hat on, lunch pail to work, first in, last out. He's that kind of guy, and he put the work in.
I think we got a guy to replace that. Didn't who do we get from the Dolphins? Landon Roberts. I think the first thing I saw was he was meeting Derrick Henry at the line and put him down too. So we got some guys. I think the big thing I saw is the Steelers are sick of getting beat down in the trenches, the run game. So I think those two signings, the guy from the Commanders, I forget his name too, but
he's the same way though, and that's the thing. Like you said, they're sick of getting beat up on the ground. These guys aren't like phenomenal in coverage, but they're more the downhill Vince Williams type players. So they're kind of going away from like the Devin Bush, like, all right, he may be able to cover. I think that's gonna be a little bit of an issue. Covering tight ends and those running backs out of the backfield. So this is going to be a little hot take of mine here. Looking at how they shaped this up for free agency, you re-sign KZ, Cole Holcomb, and Landon Roberts at inside linebacker, more of those powerful inside linebackers. I think they go, if Brian Branch is there, the first pick, I think they might pass on Peasy if he's on the board. I think they go Brian Branch. You know why? He can line up at safety. He can be the slot corner. He can line up on the outside. It gives him a lot more versatility where he can kind of line up, take the tight ends out of the equation, that kind. I think he'd be a better scheme fit, almost like Cam Sutton did, but just a tier higher. I think that might be what they do at 17.
Yeah, and I don't think you're wrong, and I wouldn't be too disappointed with that. I think this free agency so far, normally the Steelers are notorious for not going out and getting guys first day, even not till late second day of free agency.
And that's how it looked. It did look a lot like.
But I think they're set in their ways, but they're kind of changing their ways, and they need to keep up with the league. And you hear about it all the time. The Steelers don't give guaranteed money and stuff. I don't think that'll ever change. It's just how they operate. But the thing, it shows that they knew that they had problems places, and they're addressing those problems. Like on the offensive line, they want to keep their franchise quarterback up. Middle of the defense. So honestly, do you think they might get like a hog for that defensive line first pick?
No,
you don't think so. You still think? Okay,
they re-signed Ogunjobi.
Oh, did they?
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, what I like what they did, and I talked about this on the Youngzers account a little bit. They did enough in free agency where there's not exactly like a glaring need that they like first round you have to pick this. I think a lot more versatility, and just looking at how the draft board shakes out in the depth, you can get a good defensive interior lineman, late second through the fourth. I think there's that in the cornerback class is pretty deep where you don't need to reach at one. Safety and Brian Branch, by far I think the number one safety in the draft. And then the tackles, I don't think they take Skronsky from Northwestern. They didn't attend his pro day. He's honestly projecting as more of a guard in the NFL. But if Parrish Johnson or Broderick Jones is there at 17, I think they take him, and then they address the secondary and then defensive line. But I think another pick that they might do early on too, edge rusher, getting some depth behind Highsmith and Watt. I know they're looking at bringing back Bud Dupree, which would be, if they can get him on a cheap deal, hey, I'm all for it. That solves one thing. Maybe even tight end, though. I know Connor Hayward's there. You still have Freiermuth and
Gentry?
No, Gentry is not re-signed them, so he might be gone. Do they add another weapon to the tight end room? I've seen I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I would, because with Fireman's track record of being able to play games, you need some extra depth there.
Tight end, his last name's Washington, I think. He is an absolute tank blocking. I think he's like 6'7", big dude, athletic, can catch. That might be a guy they go for. They love having their tight ends block like Gentry. Hey, if he's there, they might do that. But I think the board's wide open. Everyone's saying, oh, corner and tackle is what they go for, 1 and 2. Logically, I think so, but there's always a surprise.
I think they did this free agency well, because then it opens your draft board completely open. So if somebody that you need isn't there, you can go and get another need. It's not like, well, you got to determine off what's there. And if 2 guys are there, you take the best available. You take what you need like right now, even if it's 2 guys. You got another pick coming up. I think they handled this very, very well. I think Omar Khan's great with the money, and then Weidl's out there evaluating the talent and stuff. And I think that they're building correctly here, and they're coming up with the league, and they're building to be a contender. And it's kind of exciting. Is it too early to tell? Absolutely. I mean, we're only in March, but what else do we have to get excited about?
Bucko baseball?
No. I'll talk about the World
there's
Series
a lot
of
more
baseball
time
before,
There's a lot more time before the start of next season.
Yeah.
And just to sum up what's happened in free agencies so far to me and the Steelers, we didn't go out. We didn't get the Ferraris. We didn't get the Lamborghinis. That just didn't happen. And a lot of people are complaining about, like, we're not making a splash or this or that. But you know what? You know what? You need to run a Ferrari. You need what's under the hood. You need the gas. You need the tires. And we didn't get those sexy picks. The engine ain't sexy. But we got those guys. I like to call them havoc causers. And that's what it's going to be.
What kind of friggin' car are you driving the tires under the hood?
Why didn't you just compare them to like a farm truck or something? Be like, you know what you need? You need a farm truck. You got the hogs.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is we got the guys that make things happen. It's not going to be the guys that are be staring at, like, lining up the receivers or the big, the sexy picks, but it's the guys that are under the hood or the underappreciated things. Tires are technically under the hood; they're like under there somewhere, below it.
Yeah,
But not sexy picks, but havoc causers. They're going to cause havoc.
Meaningful and impactful. I think they're going to be impactful. So, and they knew they had problems and they addressed it. So you can't, as a fan, ask for anything else. They know that there was problems. They knew where the problems were and they addressed them. So hopefully these fix the problems. They're problem fixers. Hopefully, if not, then there's a bigger problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, we got what 15 minutes left, closing on the hour here,
give or take. Yeah,
give or take. We got to start getting into, I know the Pirates are coming up. Nothing really notable with them this week. Vince Velasquez sucks.
Mitch Keller had a good outing.
Travis Swaggerty's making a push for the opening day roster along with Smith Njigba. So those are two guys to look for in the outfield. But I don't have much for the Pirates this week. Spring training. We know who stinks. We know who's good.
I'll give you guys pats on back because, excuse me, you guys were right about Mitch Keller. He was told that he's going to have the opening day starting spot in the rotation. So you guys were right there. Maybe next year, Rawanzi, you'll get it. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think it'll be next year. It'll be right next year. But
also, sorry.
I would say you could see if you watch the video of them officially telling them that's the route they took. Like, you had a big year last year, we're going to give you the start because you worked your ass off. You had a good year, he had a rough one, I think 2 years ago. And, he went through a rough patch. So he turned himself around and, they really respected it. And they gave him the nod for upcoming, I think, beginning of April. So good stuff.
Yeah. But we talk all the Pittsburgh sports. I'm starting to add in a little wrinkle to it each week. So this is the debut of Sports Card of the Week that I'm going to add in. $3 off eBay last week. I think this guy's going to be a stud out of the Pirates bullpen this year. Autographed rookie, I don't know if you can see the name, Carmen Mlodzinski. I think
he's a Tom Gorzolani. You might as well have thrown that money in the toilet.
Need a Josh Fogg auto ASAP. No, Scott Sauerback. Oh yeah. That's what I want. Pirates. Ultimate troll job this year. Their marketing team gets an A+. Dollar Dog Night is on April 20th this year. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing.
That's a hell of a PR move there.
So you go and they limit you to 2 dogs per person. What a sham! Even last year, they limit your dogs and they run out of buns.
There'll be a lot of high people there with the munchies. If you people don't understand what April 20th is, it's 420. It's a national holiday to indulge in some marijuana. I don't, but I have nothing against it.
Yeah,
and it makes you hungry and tired.
Well, that's why the Pirates probably scheduled Dollar Dog Night. They know it's going.
Yeah,
the game will put you to sleep anyway.
You get a belly full and then take a nap, and nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah, they're geniuses. They don't care if you're watching the game. They just want you to go through the gate. I mean, should we? All right, here's another Youngzers. Do we get tickets to Dollar Dog Night and see who can eat the most dogs?
Absolutely.
Should we do it?
Yes.
I'll have to prepare for that.
I'm gonna
no. You're just going in.
No, just prepare
stretch your stomach the night before, eat a pound of grapes. Yeah.
No, just take it easy for a couple weeks. I don't feel bad about eating 20 dogs. I don't know. We should do the 9-inning challenge. Isn't it 1 hot dog per inning?
Yeah, it's a dog and a beer. A dog and a beer. Yeah.
We're gonna have the absolute meat sweats going on down there. But let's that'd be a hilarious one to do. I mean, we're gonna try and bankrupt Bob Nutting. Hopefully they don't run out of buns. I'll tell you what, they try and limit us to the two dogs per person. I'm calling bullshit on them. The lady tried to last year. She's waving her cup at me, asking for a tip. I said, "Here's a tip. Don't wave that cup in my face." 2 more dogs. Let's go. Bring them out here.
Let's go.
That bullshit.
Don't eat yellow snow. That's my favorite tip to give.
That was miserable. Dollar Dog Night last year, the wind was blowing. It was 30 degrees. No one was happy.
No.
But in the news of baseball, the World Baseball Classic is going on. Did you guys see the game last night with the United States?
I saw Trey
Yeah.
Turner walked it off.
No, he didn't walk it off. It was
Or-
bottom of the or eighth or top of the eighth, one of the two. And yeah, he hit that grand slam, the go ahead grand slam, and it was just an electric factory. My old man ended up texting me. He's like, I haven't screamed at my TV in years, but he gets invested, especially like when Team USA's playing in anything. He's a very proud American, and he said he was screaming at his TV, and he hasn't done it in years. So it's exciting when my old man does something like that. He also told me to stop mentioning him on this podcast, and I told him no.
Yeah, not too. Mr. Couch, you know why Trey Turner hit that grand slam right there?
I knew you were watching.
He wants the world to remember that the U.S. is back-to-back World War champs. They can have their FIFA, they can have soccer, whatever. When it comes to baseball, we're the ones eating the dollar dogs here, hitting absolute dingers, and there's not a damn thing. Shohei Ohtani can be pulling whatever women he wants, being a rock star wherever he wants to be over there. It don't matter. The USA is going to, Jose Altuve. We had Daniel Bard, who's an absolute shitter in the bullpen. He'll load the bases, then break your hand.
Yeah.
That's a big ass you. Yeah. That's some Kenny Power shit right there.
I'm just saying,
baby.
if I was on Team USA for being able to spit the most seeds in 9 innings, I think I'd be like one of the best to do it. Ain't nobody spitting more seeds than me. I don't know.
That's a bold take there. I don't know if I believe you. That's all I want to say. That's
Do you like eat the nut in the seeds, or just like
yes,
suck off the little like
the nut,
like a dusting, and then spit it out?
It's not a nut; it's a seed. But yeah,
seed, yeah.
You crack
There's
the
a little seed
shell.
inside.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like the flavoring. I don't even go for the little seed.
See,
inside.
then
I just,
you're
let it rip. No,
you're just starting
because you know what I'm doing.
What?
No, because I'm planting sunflowers.
No,
that's why I
because
look
they're
at it. I'm planting
roasted. No,
sunflowers.
they're roasted. They won't grow.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't. They're roasted.
Eventually, they will.
No, they won't. No.
You don't know that.
That's like scrambling an effing egg and saying a chicken's going to grow out of it. You're just ridiculous. You're not a hauler. You're not a seed.
That's already how I
You're
saw
not
it.
a hunter.
That kind of makes me feel bad. I've been doing that for years, thinking I was like repopulating the sunflower population.
No,
they're roasted.
That's a shame. That's a shame. That's just a damn shame. Right? I thought there'd be so many sunflowers going like.
No.
Have you ever seen a sunflower growing in the wild from where you spit your seeds?
No. I thought they like blew away somewhere else. I didn't plan them.
I was waiting for him to say, yeah, they're little yellow ones. No, there's dandelions, bud. Come on now.
I thought they'd like blow away. Like how birds would carry. I thought a bird was picking it up and like they're. Oh, I'm feeding birds then. I'm sure a bird's eating it.
Yeah, something's eating it.
Or a squirrel.
You ain't growing sunflowers.
I thought I was growing sunflowers for years. It's probably going back like 10 years, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
First came up with it.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I guess that's what I try to do, like help the earth out. Whatever.
For bursting your bubble.
Whatever. Breaks my heart.
Okay.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
That's some Billy Madison shit right there.
They just don't want to see me win. They don't want to see me winning.
I'm like checked out after that.
I have Jags of the week.
Oh, so do I, but I'm like,
you're my Jag of the week now. That's my Jag.
I got 2.
But no, just a side note before we get into the Jags of the week, I was on and about yesterday getting ready for the first slate, whatever, of games yesterday. And I think I'm going to either invest in a GoPro or a dash cam or something along those lines. Because, I'm by an intersection there by the Sheets and Myrna's. And it looked like this girl's on her phone, just turns right into the traffic. Boom. Takes out her front end's all smashed up the other car. And the first thing I thought to myself is, like, I'm in basketball mode. I'm like, how funny would it be to have the video footage of that? And then Mike Breen just going, when the 2 cars hit. Yeah. It was the first thought that went through my head. And I'm like, yeah, I got to go home or something, man. Like, that's all I could think about, just trolling the whole thing. But, yeah, I need to start recording. I mean, the ass cracks on the way back, hanging out. Something's got to give. I got to start documenting this. Otherwise, no one's going to believe me.
This is free content, too, so you ought to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
All right, Ryan,
So,
you want to give or do you have any thoughts?
no,
Ryan, do you
nothing
want to
to-
give your first one? I'll give mine, and then you give your second one.
Okay. Yeah, I got double. I told Andrew both. Andrew, which one should I go with first? The steps or the other one?
Oh, do the steps first.
All
Steps
right.
first.
Okay. Steps one isn't as funny. So yesterday I was down on the south side doing the St. Patrick's Day stuff. And I was at Mario's, and at Mario's there's like steps, like a little landing, and then more steps, and then like a hallway. So I'm just standing there like taking in the crowd. I like crowd watching. So there's like two bouncers, one at the top of the steps and one like on the landing. And this dude, they just throw him down the steps, and he's like tumbling down, and he gets up, and his like nose, there's like blood coming out of his nose. He's leaking, and like the other like guy at the bottom of the landing picks him up and like puts him in a headlock. I guess he was like in a fight or something up there, and he throws him down the second set of steps. This guy's rolling down the other steps. And then they put him in another headlock at the bottom. Like he's in one of those WWE like headlocks like that. They throw him out the door. And I'm like looking out the door, and he's just like this, like looking around there, like he's wondering why he got like thrown out. Like the police are talking, he's got a full like Ric Flair like red face, like he's wearing the crimson mask, like tough look. So that was my first Jag of the week, but I got a second one. So Dan,
Do you think he was blading?
yeah,
might.
it was like two lines, like perfect lines, just going down. He looked like a Fu Manchu, like mustache.
Like if Hogan got busted open.
Yeah, yeah. He had the handlebars. It was hilarious. I've never seen like he looked like a cartoon character, like getting thrown down the steps, rolling right into a headlock, getting thrown down like another set into another headlock, then thrown out a door. This dude rolled more in 10 seconds than he'd ever probably roll again in his life.
They practiced
why?
that maneuver. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you know why? WWE 2K23 came out last week, and those bouncers 100% are playing online with each other.
He did the thing where he like wrenches it too, and like I thought he thought there was like a crowd, like
He's waiting for the pop.
Yeah, I thought he's like the kid was gonna get super kicked at the end with like a little leg slap to give you the noise, like with him getting kicked.
What if after they like threw him out the door, the cop outside just immediately put him in the walls of Jericho and made him tap?
That'd have been an
been
electric
hilarious.
factory.
Insane sequence of events.
I wish I would have had like my phone out to record. Like I didn't think fast enough. I was like, all right. I thought like I need to get my phone out now because like if you're getting thrown down like a set of steps, there's another set there. You're getting thrown down those.
Yeah,
Like there were more steps, and I should have been more aware. So my bad.
that's on you.
Dan, the floor is yours.
All right. No, you can correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be the Jag for thinking that these people are Jags, but this one is an entire, let's call it a school, and more specifically, the Notre Dame hockey team. You come out to, you have a game on St. Patrick's Day as the Fighting Irish, and you come out to bagpipes, but the bagpipe player is actually playing Scotland the Brave. Do your homework and don't come out to a Scottish song and come out to an Irish song maybe next time. And now correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw the video and that was definitely Scotland the Brave. So the entire Notre Dame athletic department, hockey team. I don't know who got this dude out there to play the pipes, but don't get me wrong. I love hearing some bagpipes, but do your research because that was Scotland the Brave, a Scottish song, not an Irish song. So Jag of the week for me.
Yeah, that's honestly a damn shame. Like,
I'll send it to you on Twitter. I'll find
the devil's in the details, and they didn't take that extra step. So Jag in my book.
And we're also we don't forget podcasts. So Dan, you're taking on the Notre Dame athletic department. Let's not forget your football team killed your videographer in high winds years ago. So yeah, Notre Dame, F you.
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
we don't forget.
I don't forget. So all up here, you and Jimmy Boeheim, I'm right there, baby. I haven't forgot about Jimbo. He thinks he's sailing off into retirement, easy breezy. He ain't getting away that easily.
He's just gonna be like Roy Williams down there at UNC. He's gonna come back to Syracuse games and try to steal the line like Jag. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm just pissed that he retired because now my car insurance is be going up. Yeah, you can't have him wilding out on the roads. Thinks it's like a game of Mario Kart. He's out there throwing blue shells in the middle of the snowstorm.
Also, UConn won by 17 against St. Mary's.
Thank you,
I'm
Ryan.
at 3.5. So I don't know. Watch out for UConn. I don't know if I should take a feature on UConn or Kansas State, but I don't know. All right, second Jag of the week. I think this is the better of the two because it's more of like a little personal kind of story because I interacted with the guy. So same place, same area. I go to the bathroom, and if you go into like a bathroom at a bar in the South Side, it's kind of like, have you ever been in like a cave where there's like water dripping or like, yeah. So there's just piss everywhere, like absolute everywhere. First off, the dude walks in, and this other guy goes, "Oh, they just let anyone in here," and they're like laughing. They're calling each other like pipsqueaks and like easy pickings and stuff, and they're just jerking each other around. And on the ground is like a leprechaun hat, and this leprechaun hat is also soaked in piss because it's on a piss-covered floor in a bathroom where just dudes are coming in and not even using toilets, just pissing on walls and everywhere else.
This isn't going where I think it's going. Keep going.
So anyway, the guy looks down, and let's just say he probably wasn't in the right state of mind, and he says, and I quote, "Well, one man's trash," and he picks it up, and he puts it on his head. So now this guy has a piss-soaked leprechaun hat on his head, and another man alerts him and says, "Hey, like, I think that's, like, covered in piss." And he goes, "Well, it's already on there," and he just, like, struts out, back out, with the hat on, covered in piss, back out into society.
So there's so many layers to this.
It was evidently covered in piss.
Well, here's the thing: if it's your own piss, that's bad. To make it even worse, let's say that was 40 different dudes piss on there. Like that's even worse. Yeah. Oh my god!
It had to have been multiple. Yeah.
Oh. If there's a new strain of COVID that comes out, you find
that hat. Patient zero.
Like that. It was like dripping a little bit off like the brims too. It was just like coming down. Yeah, it came up and there's just like running off the sides. Like the dude did not care. I was just like, dude, come on now. So, so that's my easy pickings Jag of the week. Piss soaked hat right there. Dripping off. Probably on his shoulders. It's probably on his shoulders, like down his hairline. Like his head was covered in it. Dan is checked out.
It was 100% dripping into that man's drink too. 100%.
Yeah, it's dripping into the drinks of people all around.
I almost lost it there, because I was just envisioning just piss dripping off the brim of my hat.
Into your drink in front of you, into the drink of people, unsuspecting people around you. You know, that brim was a little wider, so it's got a 360 thing going. But yeah, I think that guy takes the cake.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. You guys got anything else?
I hope that's it.
That's a perfect way to wrap it up, I think.
I think so.
Next thing, we'll talk some Sweet 16, maybe more free agency. I don't know.
We'll soon too. I'm just saying.
We're
due to go off the rails soon.
Yeah.
We need a nice draft again, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Next week
I've been holding the crown. I've been holding the crown too long.
Yeah, we should have one next week. What do you think?
Yeah. Do we want to prepare? What do you want to give it now or later? Do we want to think about it and surprise?
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Let's come up and wrap it up.
What do you got off the rip? I was thinking maybe like top 5 candies. So it could be a chocolate.
Candy ice cream. Yeah, candy.
Okay.
Candy.
Want to do candy?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So can we like go into different genres? So like if I'd say like chocolate bar, like someone else can take something different, you know? Right?
No, like if you say chocolate, you say Hershey's, right?
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Like not one person can have like everything.
No, because then I want Hershey's with almonds. It's the same, but it's different.
Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping. Yeah.
Yeah. You
not
can't
everyone
just
can say like chocolate bar and take all of it.
No.
Yeah.
You kind of try to be specific about it.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right. So that's episode 35. If you see a piss-soaked hat, don't put it on your head. That's my word of advice for the day. Episode 36 next week.